What's going on, guys? Seth here from Team Union Seth. I am your coach of the Philadelphia Pharaohs in Season 8 of the Seasonal Sawsbuck Showdown League. This is Week 8. We are going up against the Rochester Rockruffs. This is the team builder for this week. The battle will be up tomorrow. But we have not faced this team yet this season, so it is a new matchup. And as you can see on the screen, my opponent's team is there. We have the Alolan Raichu, which is their unlimited Z user. We have the Primarina, which is their offensive Z user. We have Charizard, Guzzlord, Lurantis, Beedrill, Rhyperior, Hariyama, Mismagius, Bastiodon, Lopunny, and Beartick. So definitely a scary team in terms of offense. Things like the Raichu, obviously, and the Primarina being able to use Z moves and are just powerful mons in general, especially in this type of format. The Mismagius can be very scary. Potentially even the Beartick. Charizard can be scary if it's like a Belly Drum set, or even a Dragon Dance set can be somewhat scary. Guzzlord, Bulkymon can be scary. Lurantis, if it's not properly handled, can definitely set up with Contrary and potentially put in some work. Beedrill, I'm not too worried about the Beedrill. I do have options to take care of it, so it's not too much of a threat. The Rhyperior could just be somewhat of a bulky threat and potentially cause some problems. Hariyama, always a scary mon to face. He gets priority in Bullet Punch, hits super hard, it gets the Guts ability and Thick Fat, so it could be defensive with maybe an Assault Vest. Bastiodon could be a bulky mon to get up rocks with. Lopunny, Fake Out, priority, quick attack, stuff like that. So definitely a scary team in terms of a few mons. Other mons, like I said, I'm not too worried about. Like the Beedrill, the Bastiodon, Beartick, Lopunny. I'm not really too worried about them. If they do come, it is what it is. I am prepared for them, but I'm not too concerned about what they can do. But my main concerns were definitely the Raichu and the Primarina, and then a potential Belly Drum Charizard, as well as Rhyperior. And Mismagius is something that I always seem to have trouble with whenever I face it, so I made sure to prepare for that pretty extensively. Not extensively, but pretty well. Make sure I'm prepared for it. So we're going to get right into the team. We have Howard, our Shuckle, with the leftovers and Sturdy, Sticky Web, Stealth Rock, Infestation, and Toxic. 248 in HP, 252 in defense, 8 in special defense with a careful nature. Howard is here to lead off, get up rocks, get up webs, and then potentially trap something and kill it. Webs are more important in this matchup. My whole strategy is kind of based around webs to weaken or to slow down the Raichu, potentially slow down a Scarfed Primarina, slow down, what else was it? Slow down Lopunny, Beartick. So a lot of my calcs are based around the Raichu and the Scarf Primarina, as well as maybe things like Guzzlord or Beedrill that might end up wanting to be fast. So the webs are going to be really nice. I do have to be careful of the contrary Lurantis. So if he does bring Lurantis, I need to make sure that I'm aware that that thing is going to be pretty fast. But I'm not super concerned about it. I'm not that, it's not that big of a deal. Lurantis isn't too much of a threat with the team that I have looking at it, so it can potentially be a threat if not handled properly, but I think I can play around it. But again, Howard is here to get up webs first, rocks if I can, infestation and toxic things away. Next up we have Namor, our Qwilfish, back again. Okay, so I haven't played my Week 7 battle yet, and this is Week 8, obviously. So if that match doesn't get played, you won't see the team builder from last week. If that match does get played, you will have seen it. So last week, my team was built around Qwilfish to potentially sweep, and this week it is again built around Qwilfish to potentially sweep. So we have Namor, our Qwilfish, with the Black Sludge and Intimidate, Swords Dance, Liquidation, Poison Jab, and Aqua Jet. 112 in HP, 252 in attack, 4 in defense, and 140 in speed with the Adamant Nature. Like I said, this thing is meant to set up and sweep. We outspeed the Alolan Raichu after webs. And we also outspeed a Scarfed Primarina after web. So essentially we just outspeed Primarina no matter what. And then Max Attack Adamant going to be hitting super hard. With a Swords Dance up, Liquidation and Poison Jab annihilates 90% of his team. 90% of the team just dies to Liquidation or Poison Jab with that Swords Dance up. And if I can get those webs up, then things like Raichu are not a threat. And then potential faster mons like Lopunny or a Scarf Beedrill, Scarf Primarina, just not threats. So Aqua Jet is there for the Mismagius potentially. And then if I just want to have on the Charizard, so I made sure to have a decent amount of priority on this team in case we do see that Charizard set up. I want to make sure rocks are up in addition to webs just for that Charizard specifically, because like I said, if it does set up, it can be pretty scary. So we do have a good amount of priority Aqua Jet on this thing, so if I do get a Swords Dance up, Aqua Jet is really nice for a lot of mons on his team if the webs somehow get defogged away. It does have 3 defoggers in the Charizard, Beedrill, and Lurantis. I don't really see any of them bringing defog, but it's possible. But it's just there as an option in case that Charizard decides to get set up. And, next up, we have Cap, our Tyrantrum with the Choice Band and Rock Head, Head Smash, Earthquake, Dragon Claw, and Facade, 24 in HP, 252 attack, 4 in defense, 228 in speed, Adamant Nature. So our Tyrantrum outspeeds the Raichu after webs again, and this is going to be our main wall breaker for the match. I'd prefer to not click Head Smash as much as possible. I'd rather hit something like Earthquake or Declaw. Does he have a Fairy? Primarina, yeah. Primarina's his only Fairy, so I don't really expect it to switch into a Tyrantrum. It really doesn't want to take a Head Smash or even an Earthquake. So we'll see. If I need to, I can potentially take some sort of status with this thing. So if I get scalded by Primarina, it's not the end of the world. I have the Facade if we get burnt. Same thing if he runs Willow, Mismagius, or Toxic Spikes. I believe Beedrill gets Toxic Spikes as well, so he wants to run something like that. A Banded Facade with a status is going to do a lot of damage. So it's more just a failsafe. I didn't really have another move that I wanted to put on there. I was considering a Dragon Dance Tyrantrum, but I prefer the immediate power that the band gives me in this matchup specifically. So that is our Tyrantrum set. So next up we have Iron Lad, our Pawniard, with the Eviolite and Defiant, Sucker Punch, Knockoff, Pursuit, and Iron Head, 24 in HP, 252 in attack, 232 in speed. Again, outspeeding Raichu after the webs. And this mon's main job is to deter the defog. Like I said, Charizard, Lurantis, and Beedrill all have defog. None of them do a ton of damage, except obviously the Charizard with fire moves. But other than that, they don't do a ton of damage to Iron Lad in general. So I can potentially switch in on a defog, get a +2 boost, and then either Sucker Punch, Knockoff, Pursuit, Iron Head, whatever I want to do. So it's mainly there to prevent that defog from happening, so that I can keep my webs, keep my rocks on the field, and be able to play the game with that stuff up. Excuse me. So that is our Iron Lad set. It can also take some decent hits with the Eviolite, and it can fire off some decent damage. I mean, it has the Pursuit in case I come in on a Mismagius potentially. I can Iron Head the Primarina and do a good chunk of damage there. I can Pursuit or knock off the Raichu, so I can live a hit unless it's got Focus Blast, and then I can do some good damage to it. So it's a pretty hard hitting mon, even though its attack is only 85. Max attack still hits decently hard. Stab knockoff, stab Iron Head, still doing pretty decent. And then again, Sucker Punch for that priority, just in case that Charizard gets to set up. I need to use some priority to get some mons in there to attack it. Next up, we have Drax, our Piloswine, with the Eviolite and Thick Fat. Earthquake, Icicle Crest, Ice Shard, and Facade. 156 in HP, 252 in attack, 100 in speed with the Adamant Nature. I am actually going to switch Facade to Stealth Rock on this one. I was going back and forth. I was debating on it beforehand. I was debating on doing that earlier, and I was like, why not run Facade? But I'm actually going to put Stealth Rock on it just in case Howard can't get up those Stealth Rocks in the early game. So for this mon, it is meant to, we live a Timid Surf plus a Psychic from the Raichu. So if he's timid, we live a Surf plus a Psychic from that mon, so we can switch into a Psychic, live a Surf, and then fire off an Earthquake. We live that after Rocks as well, I believe. I believe we live that after Rocks. Yes, we do. And then we outspeed a Timid Primarina with the webs up. So if it's not Scarfed, we outspeed the Primarina if the webs are up. So pretty solid mon here. Again, just a somewhat bulky mon. Take some hits, prevent the Raichu from Volt switching around on a lot of things. We can live, like I said, we can come in on a Volt switch if necessary. We can come in on a Psychic if necessary. Live a Surf, Earthquake it back, and then do what we got to do from there. Ice Shard, again, priority mainly for that Charizard in case it does get set up. And then it's just nice for things like Lurantis if it gets a +1 speed. Guzzlord, it's there for. So just priority in general, but mainly for that Charizard if it does get set up. And then last but not least, we have Sentry, our Exploud with Assault Vest and Scrappy, Boom Burst, Surf, Focus Blast, and Hyper Beam. 36 in special attack, 252 in special defense, 220 in speed with the Modest Nature. This thing is Assault Vest for the Mismagius. 100% Assault Vested for the Mismagius. It can also help with the Raichu and with the Primarina, but our main goal is to stop the Mismagius from either, I'm like 90% sure it gets Nasty Plot. I'm pretty sure it does. I didn't check that, but I almost guarantee I've seen it before. And so yeah, prevent, switching on a Nasty Plot, switching on a Shadow Ball, whatever I got to do, and then fire off a Boom Burst, fire off a Surf, a Focus Blast, a Hyper Beam, whatever. Hyper Beam is more there just for fun. Focus Blast is there for things. What was the Focus Blast? It was for Guzzlord. So it does more to Guzzlord than Echoed Voice, which is a fairy move. It's base 40. And then Surf is there for the Charizard and for the Rhyperior and Bastiodon as well. So pretty simple mon. This is our main counter for the Mismagius if it gets set up, and it can still fire off some decent damage, potentially cause some switches because of the threat of a Choice Specs mon. So that's pretty much it. This team I'm fairly confident in. I feel like it's one of my better builds throughout the season. I have a clear goal of to set up with Namor and Sweep, and I have clear check mons for the things that I have clear ways for Namor to get to that sweep. So I have a game plan going in, and I'm feeling pretty confident with it. So that is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the team. Other than that, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.